right, guys. So when people show you who they are, you should believe them. And Bubba Wallace, aka Bubba Smoulet, right, is showing us exactly the type of person that he is. As this guy caused an accident and then went to physically assault another driver after this man caused a crash. Again, it's absolutely unbelievable stuff, but nobody should be surprised because this guy feels entitled after getting away with his noose hoax. You guys remember the story of the fake noose that was found in the garage, Bubba Wallace's garage, and they made a whole big deal out of it, right? And then the FBI did an investigation and found that he was not the victim of a hate crime, that the so-called noose was like, I don't know, a garage pulley or something like that, right? But again, this guy divided the country over a hoax, and now he's attacking other drivers after he causes a crash. So I want to read about this and watch some of the footage and go from there, because this is just unacceptable, right? We can't have this in sports, okay? Let's read here. NASCAR driver Bubba Wallace erupted into a fit of rage during a race on Sunday as he attacked another driver after causing that driver to crash. The incident happened during stage 2 of the South Point 400 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway when Wallace, who won stage 1, was next to driver Kyle Larson when Larson attempted a 3-wide pass. Larson moved up the track and his car gave a slight tap to Wallace's car, causing Wallace's car to brush up against the wall. After brushing up against the wall, Wallace bounced into Larson's car and then continued by tracking Larson's car down the track and slamming into the rear of his car, causing both cars to spin out. Multiple reports say that the move by Wallace to spin out Larson's car appeared to be intentional. NASCAR could penalize Wallace if they believe that his actions were deliberate. Well, if his actions were deliberate, along with the fight scene, which we're going to watch here in a minute, he should be suspended. Or who knows, he maybe even kicked out of NASCAR. Because this guy's trying to kill people out here, right? Let's watch this. So as you can see here, his car got bumped. The Mickey D's car, right? So fitting. A clown car for a clown, right? So yeah, we can watch it over again. He gets bumped. Let's go back. Right here, he gets bumped. A little tap on the wall, you know what I'm saying? Nothing super crazy. And again, at this point, this dude can still race, right? I understand that you're pissed, you're mad that the driver basically trapped you against the wall. I get it, but it was for a slight second, right? You can still race. However, this is what happened when losers get mad and upset. They want to throw a fit, right? And they just want to sabotage the whole race. Again, this guy intentionally fishtails this guy, right? He spins him out. Check this out. I mean, this is just, he could have killed a guy. He could have got Kyle Larson killed. And then this man has the cojones to step outside of the car and act like Kyle Larson did him so wrong, right? Watch this, watch this. I mean, he just flat out just shoved the guy. I mean, this is crazy. This dude is insane. He is insane. Here's a more close up. So he got out of the car. I mean, again, you tried to kill the man. I don't understand why you acting like this for. So he shoves Kyle Larson. Again, this is beta, bruh. This is unacceptable. Like, come on, bruh. He bullying this guy. Now, in the spirit of race baiting, okay, because I was going to do a video about this, but I decided not to. Stephen A. Smith said that Tom Brady only got away with yelling at his teammates when they were losing, right, versus the Steelers. He only got away with it because he was white. That a black man wouldn't be able to get away with that. Let's go ahead and play the clip so you guys know what I'm talking about.
But I want to get to a bigger point before I pass it to you. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to be consistent. Was Tom Brady passionate, or was he the angry white guy? Because if that was somebody else doing what he was doing with his offensive lineman, we would have been talking about, if that was a black man, we would have been talking about his temper. We'd have been talking about the fact that he might not need to act like that with the cameras rolling. I had no problem with it whatsoever. If brothers ain't blocking for you, you 45 years old, you behind the center, and you getting smacked around, you damn right you should get in their face. I have no issue with what Tom Brady did with them whatsoever. All I'm trying to say is that when a black quarterback does that, I don't want to hear nothing about it since nobody's saying anything about Tom Brady doing it.
Yeah, so I haven't seen Stephen A's reaction to Bubba Wallace, right? But I don't hear anybody calling him an angry black man just yet. However, I will say, because Stephen A put the question out there about what will NFL fans say, or what would people say if Tom Brady was black and yelling at his offensive lineman? Well, I can tell you right now, if that was the case, I don't think anybody would say anything, right? I think people would say, yeah, that's a passionate quarterback who's trying to get his offensive line to play better. I have seen black quarterbacks yelling at their teammates, right? A lot, okay, in the NFL on the sidelines, and I don't think anybody ever says that's an angry black man. Stephen A, once again, is just pulling a race card for no reason. But since he pulled that card, right, I got to ask questions about this incident in the sense that if the roles were reversed, if you had a white driver that decided to intentionally spin out and almost kill a black driver, and then they get out of the car and try to fight the black driver, do you guys think that this story would be a lot bigger than what it is? I think that it would be. I think that all of woke Twitter and woke take and ESPN, CNN, MSNBC, they would all be on this story talking about, well, is race a factor here, right? Did this white guy try to kill this black guy? And why is the white guy trying to fight the black guy, right? That's what they would be saying, okay? We would have a bunch of talk about racism. Is racism so prevalent in NASCAR, right? This is what they would be talking about. But because it's not, because it's Bubba Wallace, it's a civil rights activist, right? Who's allowed to get away with, acts of violence, which, I mean, that's what that was, in my opinion, the spin out and what he did after the fact. Well, it's just, it's par for the course. It's whatever. Don't say anything about it, right? We need to turn the other cheek. Again, absolutely amazing stuff. So that being said, let's listen to Kyle Larson address whether or not he thought that what Bubba Wallace did was retaliation.
No, I mean, it didn't surprise me. I obviously made an aggressive move into 3 and got in low and got loose and chased it up a bit. And, yeah, I mean, he got to my right front and it got him tight and into the wall and knew he was going to retaliate. So, like I said, I mean, he had a reason to be mad, but his race wasn't over until, he retaliated. So, it is what it is. Just aggression turned into frustration and you're retaliated.
Is retaliation, Kyle, at that speed an acceptable thing?
I think with everything that's been going on here lately with head injuries and, all that, fractured ligaments and all that, I don't think it's probably the right thing to do. But, hey, we've all done it. Maybe not all of us, but I mean, I have. I've let the emotions get the best of me before, too. So just I'm sure, I know he's probably still upset, but I'm sure with everything going on, he'll know that he made a mistake in the retaliation part, and I'm sure he'll think twice about it next time.
Yeah, I don't think that Kyle Larson there was being hard enough on Bubba Wallace. I mean, that man could be dead, right? He could have killed you. But I do agree with him in the sense that I can understand why Bubba Wallace was mad. I would have been pissed too, but I'm not going to try to kill a guy, right? I'm not going to retaliate in that way. I'm going to finish the race, and then I'll have some words for the guy after the race, but I'm not going to try to kill the guy and then try to fight him, right? That's crazy to me. So let's listen to Bubba Wallace's side of the story here.
What happened? Cliff Daniels said if that wasn't retaliation, I don't know what was. Was it intentional retaliation on your behalf?
Clint's smart enough to know how easy these cars break. So when you get shoved into the fence, like deliberately like he did, trying to force me to lift, steering was gone. So just so happened to be there. Hate it for our team. Super fast car. Had no short run speed, as you were seeing. We were kind of falling there. Larson wanted to make a 3-wide dive bomb. Never cleared me. And I don't lift, so I know I'm kind of new to running up the front, but I don't lift. So wasn't even in a spot to lift, and he never lifted either, and now we're junk. So just a piss poor move on his execution.
When situations like this happen, Bubba, at this speed, is retaliation an acceptable thing?
Stop fishing.
I'm not fishing. I'm just asking you. Let's also talk about the message you wanted to send to Kyle by going up to him after the incident.
He knows. He knows that what he did was wrong. He wanted to question what I was doing. He never cleared me. So just hate it for our team. Our McDonald's Toyota Camry was super solid. Just needed to find a little bit on the short run, get the balance where we needed it, and it would have been just like Kansas. But now that car's jumped.
There's always unintended consequences when something like this happens. Christopher Bell was a part of that, clearly a Toyota teammate and a playoff driver. Your reaction to that?
Sports.
Yeah, so this guy clearly is not taking any responsibility for his actions. Again, par for the course when it comes to these civil rights activists, these race hustlers, and these woke revolutionaries. Take no responsibility for anything, right? Cause as much chaos as possible, but take no responsibility for it. Now, Bubba Wallace suggested that his steering was broken, and that is why he slammed into Kyle Larson. Okay, that is, and it wasn't retaliation. His steering was broken. However, NBC's on-screen telemetry appears to disprove Bubba Wallace's claims about what led to the crash. So, once again, Bubba Wallace and his claims are being disproven here by actual evidence and investigation. This time, it didn't take the FBI to prove that this was a lie. A new report suggests that NASCAR driver Bubba Wallace may have falsely claimed that his steering was broken when he slammed into the side of another NASCAR driver during a race Sunday. We all know when it happened. Wallace said that the steering was gone. However, Insider noted in a report that NBC's on-screen telemetry of Wallace's car, quote, seemed to disprove Wallace's defense because measurements showed that Wallace was all the way down on the gas just before hitting Larson, which the report said would not have been expected if he did not have control of steering. After both cars came to a stop, Wallace got out of his car and physically attacked Larson, who was smaller than Wallace. Wallace's outburst sparked calls for him to be suspended or face potential criminal charges. Hundreds of accounts on social media called out Wallace's top sponsor, McDonald's, and challenged the fast food company to reconsider its decision to sponsor him. Quote, Bubba Wallace tried to kill a guy during a race yesterday because he was angry. The Daily Wire's Matt Walsh tweeted, NASCAR went along with that garage door pull stunt a few years ago and created a crybaby self-entitled monster in the process. Yet another grown man child who has never been told no in his life. He ran his car into something going 180 miles an hour. It's not bumper cars, Walsh added. He could easily kill someone doing that. Facts. I mean, and at this point, you know, I think it is reasonable to suggest that, hey, you know, maybe he should face some charges. Because, again, what he did was intentional, but not just for that, but also for what happened after the fact. He got in the car, started shoving, you know, Kyle Larson. I don't think Kyle Larson is going to file charges. I don't see Kyle Larson being that type of guy. But at the same time, Bubba Wallace does need to be held accountable in some way via a suspension, right? At the very least. The guy seems to have an inflated ego, right? He seems to be feeling himself after the whole BLM thing. He thinks he's untouchable. He's NASCAR's golden boy or woke boy, right? He's his woke icon simply because of his skin color, because he's half black. Yeah, he needs to be brought down a few levels. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.